Next, introduction. Now the previous version of HTML or HTML 4.01, it came in the year 1999 and the web has changed a lot. Now see, right now we know HTML. After that many advancement came, some new features were added and today we have HTML5 but it is still into the progressive mode. Okay, more and more changes have been made, more and more attributes are added to your HTML5 language. However, the major browsers support many of the new HTML5 elements and the APIs. Okay, now all these browsers which are there, Chrome, Firefox, Safari, they also support HTML5, but need to be a proper version number for that browser. Now, if you are using Google Chrome and if you are using Google Chrome version 4.0, then it will support HTML5. That is, the higher versions which are there, they support your HTML5. Okay, when you write a code in Notepad and when you run, suppose your browser has a higher version number, then only you will get a proper output. Else you do not get an proper output. Why? Because your browser doesn't support the latest technology. Okay. Next thing, it offers additional features, tags, and attributes that not only add to website's appearance and performance, but makes it easier for the programmer to add the feature. Major example is audio and video. Now you can add a audio also to HTML5 and video also to HTML5. Okay. Previously it was not there. Okay. We had to insert file and then do all that thing. Now we just have the text like we have open angular bracket HTML and close angular bracket. In the same we have open angular bracket audio AUDIO close the angular bracket and then the closing tag. So like that we have audio, we have video. So it helps you to insert a audio, it helps you to insert a video. Okay. However, HTML5 and CSS3 are not supported by older version of browsers. They still may be used by several users. That is, if they are in initial stages, some things work. But if your browsers are updated, what will happen? Most of the things, most of the properties you can test onto your program and you can get the output. Okay, that's why they say what it is still into the progressive mode. But you need to have the higher versions for your browser. Okay, and then only the program is going to work and you will see the output as you want. Now how did HTML5 get started? Now see, in the first line that you have there are two things, one is W3C and one is what WG. What is W3C? It is the World Wide Web Consortium. Okay. Now, what is this? This is nothing but a group of people a group of people who are working on making internet better and better. Okay. So simply when I say World Web Consortium, it is a group of people who are making internet better and better. That is working on your World Wide Web each day making some new experiments so that the internet becomes seamless and everybody can access it and has more and more information. So all the changes which has to be done in terms of World Wide Web is taken by your W3C, that is World Wide Web Consortium. Okay. Second group is your Web Hypertext Application Technology Working Group, what WG. Now this is also a set of people. This is also a group of people, but they are working on making HTML better. Okay, adding different technologies in terms of web applications. That's why the name is Web Hypertext Application Technology. People who are interested in making developments into your HTML language and the related technologies. Okay, so how did this HTML5 get started? It was a cooperation. Okay, it was a tie-up between your World Wide Web Consortium and your WG. Both the set of peoples they decided that will come with a better version of HTML. Okay, so that a lot of things can be done. So people working on internet they supported to people who are working on HTML and they came up with your HTML5. Okay, clear up till here? Is there anybody who is having any difficulty? So this two set of people they came together and HTML5 got started. So In 2006, they decided to cooperate and create a new version of HTML. Now, what points they had in their mind when they started with HTML5 is we will add some new features to HTML which are totally dedicated to HTML, CSS, that is styling of a document, adding a particular color, adding a certain layout to the output. Okay, DOM, that is a document object model in terms of making models, and JavaScript, that is the language in which you write the script. Okay, this regarding JavaScript we are going to study in unit number 3 in detail. Okay, so all the features that will help to make HTML better. Okay, all the features that will help to make the experience on the website look better. So all those new features were decided to add. Similarly, if I have to plug in something and then install, they were trying to reduce the need of external plugging. Okay, so embedded everything onto the same system. That was the motto. If there are errors which are there, then better error handling. Okay, more markup to replace the scripting. Instead of writing a long script, let us add more text so that your work can be done easily. Also, that HTML5 should be device independent. That is, it should not depend upon a particular set of device only to give a proper output. And whatever is the development process should be visible to the public in terms of releasing different versions. Okay, so keeping all these things into the mind, they decided that we'll make HTML5 that will help actually the programmers to create a nice interface onto the web page which is easily accepted by a set of users. Okay, now the very first line which you have to write in a notepad file. Now see, any notepad file you start like I'll just see, now coming to this particular page. Now when we were writing HTML document, okay, this is a HTML document. The this one I saved it with one.html, and then when I run I get this particular output. Okay, and you must have noticed some of the online system, they tell you to include this particular line, that is open angular bracket, exclamation mark, doc type, HTML, close angular bracket. So now when you are dealing with HTML5, suppose you are using the text from HTML5, we need to include this particular line. Otherwise the program doesn't work. So this is a declaration statement that has to be written. It only specifies that this is a declaration that the file is a doc type file. Okay, and once you run that particular file, you will get the output. Okay, so that's why this is the one line which is very important. If you don't write this particular line, the program will not work in your HTML file. So make sure you write this particular line. Okay. So the doc types from earlier version of HTML were longer because HTML language was HTML based. HTML based in the sense HTML full form is standard generalized markup language. Okay, so your HTML language was based on certain rules and regulation. Therefore, they required a reference to a document type definition where everything is written. Whereas your HTML5 is not based on HTML, therefore this thing which is there, doc type file, is included in the HTML file itself. Okay, so that's why this declaration should be the first declaration when you open any notepad file to create a HTML5 program. Okay, rest all things remains the same. You open your notepad, you write this first line, and then continue the same program which is there. Okay, open a notepad file, write this statement, and write down your particular program. Save it with whatever .html, and then run and see the output. Okay, so if I say hello, Good morning. Okay. This is how it will be. Okay. Rest all things remains the same. Only thing is one line you have to add, that is called as doc type HTML. Okay. Now, next, HTML5 new elements. Some of the most interesting new features in HTML5. Now, mostly, they may
Ma'am,
ask you, yes,
ma'am, can't see your slide, ma'am.
okay, okay, 1 second. HTML5 new elements. Now in HTML5 new elements, okay, these are some of the new elements which have, really created the programmers a new way, and they have eased their work. Okay, these are some of the things which are very important. So if any question comes, list down some new features or new elements which are added in HTML5. You can write this particular points. At the end, I will show you all how many features are added. There are approximately 20 features which are new, which are added. These are still again in developing stage. There may be many more that may be added further. Okay. So, which are the new features? The first one is the canvas element. So, these are the popular ones, okay, which have, been fondly used now. When I say canvas, this particular canvas element is used for 2D drawing. Okay, open angular bracket, canvas, close angular bracket. See, this is the opening tag. Similarly, we have the closing tag for the canvas also. Okay, so this is the element that is used for 2D drawing. Next is video and audio. That is inserting a video and inserting an audio. Okay. Third thing is the support for the local storage where you can store your data, connectivity. Next is content specific elements, okay, like article. Now consider we have a web page, okay, and suppose in that web page, no, there is a list of 5 Bollywood actors, okay, and maybe the awards that are won by them. So suppose I'm creating a web page, I will write the actor's name, okay, any actor name. Okay, if I say Salman Khan, I will write down five. Suppose he have won 5 awards, I will write 5 awards. So this is a small article which is about actor one. Similarly, suppose I have 5 actors: actor two, actor three, actor four, actor five. So I can use something called as articles just to separate out the works. As I said, it is content specific elements. That is, we can actually create paragraph, and we can write the things. But why not I use article? Okay, it is a smart work can be done. So automatically, when you read the code, you will come to know, this was an article. Okay. Similarly, header and footer. Okay, header at the top and footer is at bottom. Then NAV, which is nothing but navigation. Now, one more important thing is geolocation can be also found out with the help of HTML5. And for that, the tag which is there is called as NAV, that is navigation tag. Okay. And then we have section, that is, bifurcating different sections onto your document. So these are new content specific elements which are added. Next, new form controls like calendar, displaying of the calendar onto the HTML file, displaying date in terms of clock, okay, time, email, URL, search, okay. So, see, we could have used something else and done, okay, but this is something like if you read the name itself, they will tell, what this thing does, it will display the time. What this thing does, it will display the email. Okay, so HTML5 have simplified the work, have made it very user friendly for the programmer also to understand what you have written in the code. Any difficulty up till here? What I'll do is I'll run some of these things and I'll show you all. Okay, just before that, a small part to cover: browser support for HTML5. As I said, if you have a particular version of browser, then only HTML5 programs will work. Okay, now suppose I have Google Chrome version which is 3.0. I have my HTML file. Some properties will work, some which are new, some which are of HTML5 may not work when you run the program. Why? Because it is not supported. So it is not that entire program will not work. It will work because some are the HTML properties itself, right? So it is going to work. Only some new features which are added, they may not work when you run the program. Okay, but all these major browsers which are there, Safari, Chrome, Firefox, Opera, Internet Explorer, they are working. Only that they need to have a particular version number. This line is very important. HTML5 is not yet an official standard and no browsers have full HTML5 support. Why? Because it is still into the developing stage. But if you have this particular version, then your HTML5 programs are going to work. Like Google Chrome should have a version of 4.0. Okay. Then we have Internet Explorer with 9.0. Okay. Firefox, which is 3.5. Okay. Safari, which is 4.0, and Opera, which is 10.5. So if you have this version or higher version, it is going to work. Your HTML5 program is going to work. But if you have lower version, some of the new properties may not work. Okay. Similarly, when I say video and audio, when you are inserting audio into HTML file or a video into HTML file, they need to have a specific file format. For video, it is MP4, it can be web, MB, or it can be OGG, okay, type, extension for the videos, okay. Similarly, for the audios, it could be MP3. Several elements in HTML4 are obsolete, never used. Now, before HTML5, no, HTML4 was also there. But there were some features which are there and which are removed now. So that's why a very important statement is HTML5 have defined the new elements, have defined the new attributes, and some elements are actually replaced in HTML5 and some things are also removed in HTML5. Okay, like like the word font. Okay, FONT. Font is for changing the font, right? Font color. So this was used in HTML. But in HTML5, we don't use the word font. We just say color colon red. Okay. So these are some things which are new added into HTML5. We are going to learn this in your CSS properties. Okay. So no need to worry about this thing. HTML5 includes new elements for drawing graphics, that is using canvas, okay, for adding media content, that is audio, video, better page structure using articles, navigation, section, header, footer, better form handling, several types of APIs to drag and drop elements. You can also drag the pictures and drop into the box. I'll show a demo of some of these properties, okay. Finding geolocation, that is using navigation, NAV, okay, and lot of extra features which are added into your HTML5, okay. Altogether, they are making a good experience for you all when you all work in HTML5, okay. Um, so what I do is we'll see some of these things, okay, the new elements which are there, and then automatically you will come to know about it. Okay, so just give me some time. I'll just share the screen for you in terms of running output. Okay. Um, Students, what you see right now over here, there are, four, yes, any queries? There are around four rectangles over here, okay? One rectangle is red color, one is black and white shade, one is a rainbow shade, and one is a text which has almost all colors. Now, the first tag which is there is a canvas tag. As I said, it is very popular tag nowadays. It is used to draw the graphics on the fly using the JavaScript language. So when you actually include canvas, no, you have to write a small script for that. Okay, using JavaScript, you can write a small script, then only the program works. Once again, let me tell you, we are going to study JavaScript in detail in unit number 3. Okay, I will just show you now a small program using this particular keyword, that is canvas. Before that, up till what I've covered, is there anybody who's having any difficulty? See students, just understand that we have already studied now HTML5 and so many tags you have already named. What we are doing now is we are learning the new version of HTML, that is HTML5. And we just know that there are some new features, new attributes which are added in HTML5 and they are making our job easy. One of the very popular among them is canvas tag. Now for this canvas tag also, we need to write JavaScript, then only this works. So I'll just give you a small demo in terms of canvas. Before that, now the box that you see. Now see, HTML canvas, open angular bracket, canvas, close angular bracket. This element is used to draw graphics on a web page. Now the graphic to the left, okay, now in this box that you see, there are 4 rectangles. One is your red, one is your black and white. So it is called as a gradient rectangle, color changing rectangle. That is, from black it has gone to white. It has shown a shade. So that is called as a gradient rectangle. The third one, which is down, it is a multicolor rectangle. There are almost different types of colors which are present. And the fourth one which is there, it is a multicolor text. That means some word is there and for that word different colors are used as the outline. Okay. Now, how do I do this is by using canvas. Now canvas which is there, they have several methods for drawing the boxes, for drawing circle, for drawing a text or for adding an images. But only thing, proper versions should be there and then only the HTML program will work. Now what I'll show you all is a simple program, okay, to draw a rectangle, okay. Now okay. Now if you all, I hope you all are able to see the screen. What I'll do is, see, let me cut this part. This is a normal HTML file, okay? Doc type file HTML, HTML opening, HTML closing, body opening, body closing. Head title I have not written. I don't want to add any head title right now. Now, what is the syntax is, you open angular bracket, the word canvas, space, okay, space, ID. That is, you, like we have a roll number, same way we have a ID, okay. So what does the ID attribute specify? That this ID and whatever name I have written, no, that will be used in the script which I write when I am referring to the rectangle which I will be drawing right now. Okay. So since it is a rectangle, a width is specified, a height is specified, and I have just given a styling. I say border 1 pixel, a solid border, and a certain color. Close and close the angular bracket. I have written a text. Your browser doesn't support the HTML canvas tag. That means if your version, okay, if your browser version, I'm using Google Chrome. If my Google Chrome version is 2 or 1, that means I will not get the output, right? So if I'm not getting the output, let me display this particular text saying that your browser doesn't support the HTML canvas. And if it supports, then automatically a rectangle will be drawn. Okay. ID, that means the name of my rectangle is my canvas. Okay. The height of the rectangle is 100. The width is 200. Okay. And styling I have given for the rectangle, that is the border should be 1 pixel and it should be a solid border. Solid border means, a proper rectangle. If I say dotted, then dotted lines will come. Okay. And hash 000, a certain color for that particular rectangle. So when I run, I get a rectangle. So what is my canvas doing? Canvas is what? It helps you to draw the drawings, right? So with the help of canvas, I am able to draw a rectangle onto a system. Suppose I say border equal to 8 pixel value, and if I run, the thickness of the border changes. Okay. If I want some other color, okay, some other color, automatically things will change. Okay. Maybe okay, different color has appeared. Okay, so this is what this is. I've specified the color. This is semicolon since I've ended. Okay, so this is the color which I've specified. This is the border thickness. Okay, if I say 20. Okay, this is the width and the height. So if I say 100, again it will change. Okay, and if my browser was not a higher version browser, then it will have displayed this particular sentence saying that your browser doesn't support the HTML canvas tag. Clear up till here? Anybody is having any difficulty? You all can unmute and you all can ask, yes, you can unmute and ask. Now I will show a Hello World program for you all, okay? I just increase the width again. We'll say 500, and this I just reducing that 10. Okay. Now, when I want to insert some text, there is now see, I'll just go back to this slide. It says what canvas is used to draw the graphics via a scripting language. That means when I'm drawing drawings, it is fine. But if I want to add certain text, I have to use something called as a JavaScript. Okay. So for that, no, I have to open something called as script. Once again, script is something that we'll be studying in the unit number 3. Okay. So don't take tension right now for the same script. I just copy this script. I'll explain you all what is this script all about. Okay. I've opened my script. I have closed my script. Okay. I have declared a variable. See, in C++ language, okay, how we declare variables like integer is int a. Similarly, I have declared over here a alphabet which is C, okay, which is nothing but a variable, because I am writing a certain text over here. The text is what? Hello world. Okay. Instead of hello world, let me say good morning. Okay, this is a text, right? So that's why I have mentioned variable C. Okay, equal to, now see, this is a syntax, okay, for inserting this particular canvas. I want this text, that is good morning, inside the box. Okay, I want the text good morning inside the box, and this box name is what? My canvas, which I have given. So what I do is I call that my canvas, the name which I have written over here, I am calling in this script. So the syntax is document dot get element by id, because I have mentioned id equal to my canvas, therefore I am calling this rectangle by id. So this is the syntax, document dot get element by id. Okay, this has to be written as it is. Like in C++ language we had studied printf, scanf. Okay, printf for printing, scanf for taking. In the same way, in JavaScript we write document dot get element by id. Okay, which name? That is my canvas. The same name is coming over here, semicolon. Second statement, I am declaring another variable ctx equal to c dot get context 2d. Now this is a 2D drawing, therefore I write this is also a syntax. C is the variable name which I have declared. Okay, so C dot get context of this particular variable, and it is a 2D drawing. So in brackets 2D. CTX font. Now what font it is? Okay, I'm writing good morning, right? So for this text, what should be the font? I have declared 30 pixel value Arial. Okay, Arial is the styling that I have given for the text good morning. Next, CTX fill the text good morning 10, 15. These are the locations which I have given. And I have closed my script. Now tell me students, do you have any difficulty in understanding the script? The first line of script, that is variable C, what I am doing, I am calling the canvas which I have declared. Second statement, variable CTX, I am declaring another variable and I am giving it a reference to the variable C which I have declared. I am changing the font of it, I am changing the location, and I am giving what text has to be inserted. Okay. Now, when I run this particular code, what happens? The good morning text has appeared in Arial font with a location 10, 15. So let me increase this by saying 70, 50. Automatically it gets shifted. So 70 from this side, right? 70 from the right and 50 from top. Okay, if I say this as 90 and run, now it has shifted down. So X from left and from top, whatever you want, according to that you are changing. Okay, so let me say it as 80. No, let me say 50 is better. Okay, 50, and let this be 90. Okay, proper enough. And suppose I don't want Arial, I want some other font. I may say Verdana. Okay, and instead of 30, maybe I want 50. Okay, clear enough? And I'll just say instead of 90, 85. Okay, so this is how you use a canvas. Canvas I have used for drawing the 2D graph, and suppose any text has to be written, I have to write a script for the same. Clear enough up till here? Any difficulty? So you can just see, no hi-fi questions will be asked on Canvas, but we need to know a basic thing how to write your Canvas program. Okay. Now next, so this is how you do. Okay. Now I'll just show you all some output. What is like this? Yeah, simple programs. Normally, they should not ask you all, but if it has been asked to write a simple program using Canvas, see, Canvas is only used for drawing the graphics. And learning JavaScript in unit number 3, we are going to learn in detail JavaScript. Okay, so at the end of web technology syllabus, you all should be able to write a proper JavaScript program also. Okay. So automatically when you will study JavaScript in unit number 3, you can relate it and then you can write as many number of programs as you want. Clear, Ayush? Okay, fine. Now proceeding to the next part. Similarly, I'll just run some programs and I'll show you all. Okay. Okay, this program is, again I'm drawing a rectangle only. Okay, and I'm writing a script for it. This particular script is for adding a color to this rectangle, which is I've drawn a rectangle, right? Yes, let me increase this first. Yeah, I've drawn a rectangle and I want this rectangle to be filled by a particular color. So I've chosen to color red and white. Okay, so when I run this particular code, this is the border which is given. Okay, this thing which is there is saying gradient. Gradient means what? One color is there, suppose blue. I'm making it a darker shade and a lighter shade by adding, starting point and stopping point. So 0 at location 0, red is there. At location certain point, I'm adding white to that color. So that's why it becomes this shade. Now suppose I say instead of red, I say blue. See what is the output. Okay. So this is called as gradient. Instead of white, if I say black, okay. So this is creating radiant, gradient rectangles. Okay. So yes, so this is how we use your canvas element. Okay. Then let me show you all audio video things. Okay, just give me a minute. I'll show you all how to use audio and video. Okay. So this is a normal HTML program. Now suppose I'm adding audio or I'm adding a video. Okay. If I'm adding a audio, if I'm adding a video, I need to use the tag audio or I need to use the tag video. Similarly, in source, I have to add something called as source. That is the name of the particular audio or the name of the particular video. And I have to add the extension or you can say format, the type of things which are required. Okay, so I'll just add this into a paragraph saying that audio, video, source, extension. Okay, these are the things which are needed when you will, run any particular program in terms of audio and video. So I'll copy the code for video. See here, open angular bracket video space. I'm giving a certain width for the video to display, certain height for it, and there is a word called as control. Now, see, we already know when I say video, I am adding video. If I am saying audio, I am adding audio. Okay. Width and height specifies how much should be width of the video onto the output screen and what should be the height of the video onto the output screen. I add the word controls. Now why I add this word? By adding this word, I am saying that I am accessible to video controls like playing of the video, pausing of the video, increasing the volume of video, decreasing the volume of video. So all the controls which are possible can be given with the help of the keyword which is controls. Okay. Next, on second line we have source space REC. Now what does this source do? It will help you to specify what type of video it is. In double quotes, if I say movie.mp4, it is the name with which the file is stored. Space type, that is extension. It is a video and it is a MP4. Okay. So if it is video MP4, it should be accepted. Enclose the video tag. Again, I've written the statement. Suppose it is not the higher browser version, then it should get displayed saying that your browser doesn't support this particular video tag. Okay. Clear up till here? Any difficulty in understanding this particular code?
Please repeat.
Should I repeat?
Yes.
Okay. See, as I said, now see this paragraph says what? If I'm adding any audio video, I need to mention the words audio if I'm adding audio. Similarly, video if I'm adding video. There is something called as REC, that is source, name of your audio file. If my name is maybe a.mp4, so instead of movie over here, it should be a.mp4. Okay. And the extension, that is type of video. If it is MP4, if it is OGG, okay, specify what is the extension in the double quotes. Now, width and height, it will specify, how much portion of your output screen will be there in order to display the audio or the video. Now I add the words control. It means that, see, I'm inserting audio or video. That means I should be able to pause, play, increase the volume. So when I include this word controls, it specifies that I'm giving controls. Okay, I'm giving controls to play, pause, or increase, decrease volume. Okay. Now what I'll do, then we have source. This is again a keyword for inserting the name of the file and the type of the file. Okay, so if it is mp4 version or it is ogg version, both of these things should be included. That's why I've included both the lines. Okay, suppose you consider it as a mp4 extension, the program should run. Even if it is a ogg type of video, it should again run. These are nothing but the extensions which are accepted by your Google Chrome. Google Chrome will accept a video which have a extension .mp4 and .ogg. Okay, so now see, okay, all difficulties will be solved over here itself. Now when I run this particular program, okay, what has happened? The video has come over here. This is a video which I have saved with the name movie.mp4. Okay, and I have mentioned certain width and height. Now see, if I am changing the width to suppose 400, okay, see the change which is happening. Okay, increasing the size. Suppose I say 350 again. So it only means how much, what is the boundary which is set for the video to be displayed. Okay, now if I say click on play over here, the video is playing, right? If I want to increase, decrease volume, if I want to say mute, I can say mute. If I want to give volume, I can give volume. Okay, I can say full screen. Okay, and all of the controls can be taken care of. So why I can take the controls? Because I have mentioned the word as control. If I do not mention, then I can't control the video which I am displaying. Okay, understood? Now what I'll do is, in the same way I'll show you all how I can add a audio. Okay, now for audio also it's the same thing. Okay, I just copy the code for audio. Okay. Now for audio, what I do is I add open angular bracket audio space controls. Okay, I'm not specifying any width and height for audio. Okay, then the rest things are same. Source, the name of the file .ogg .mp3. These are the versions which are supported on your Google Chrome. Okay, so I've mentioned that, and the type is mentioned. Again, this statement if my browser is not supporting. Audio is open over here with the word controls and close. Why control? So that I can control, playing and pausing of the video. So when I run, I have two things now. This is the video and this is the audio. Let me first check the video. Okay, it's working proper. Yes, I will pause. Let me check the audio. So this is a horse sound. Okay, so this is how you insert a audio and how you insert a video onto the file. Any difficulty up till here? Is anybody having any queries? Yes. Now I'll show you all one more important thing. Okay, no difficulties, no? Can I see any questions onto the chat box? This is the extension. Okay, wait, I'll just share this tab. See, file format MP4, WebM, OGG. These are the different formats which have been accepted by your browser version. Okay. This OGG is specifically for videos. This is the extension. OGG is nothing but the extension. Okay, it's actually by ZIMF ORG Foundation. Okay, it is a file format. It is a free and open container. Okay. Normally for audios and videos, both of these things, no, the OGG files can be, there are OGG files which are present. Okay, this is nothing but the file format for audios and videos which have been accepted by your browsers. Okay, clear enough, Ronak?
Yes.
Okay, file format. WebM is, it is also the file format. This is how it is written, WebM. Okay, this is how you write OGG, small OGG, MP4, MP4. Okay. Now, there is a small thing which I'll show and then I'll end the class. I'll take your attendance onto the next class which is there. However, I've recorded everything onto your Meet attendance, but I'll take the attendance in the next class. There is a small part which I'll show you all and then I'll end the class. Okay. See, now we know how to add audio, how to add video. Okay. Now there is one more thing also, that is you can add a YouTube link to your HTML file. Now for that the syntax is bit different. Okay. It is nothing but using something called as iframe. Okay. Now what is this iframe? Iframe is an element in your web page. So when we are uploading any video to YouTube, we use this particular element to specify, that is called as iframe. Rest things are the same, that is width and height. Okay, source is the link of the YouTube file that you want to display. Okay, and then opening and closing of your iframe. So I just show you all. Okay, see, this was in terms of video, this is in terms of audio, and for YouTube this is the link. I just mentioned P. Okay, YouTube, this is for your YouTube. So what I use, something called as iframe. This is an element that you need to specify. You have opening tag for iframe, you have the closing tag for iframe. I have mentioned certain width, I have mentioned certain height. Okay, and in source I have given the link of my YouTube video. Okay, and that's it. Close the angular bracket and close my iframe. So when I run this program, what happens is you have a video, you have a audio, and you have a YouTube link which is there. So when you click on this, you can play the video. Okay. So this particular internet is a bit slow over here. So this is how the video gets displayed. Okay. Clear up till here? Is anybody having any difficulty? So again, when I include this, you can control actually everything, because you are using something called as iframe, and iframe is used for your YouTube specifically. Okay, so no need to write the word controls over here. Directly it is understood. Okay. Yes. Is there anybody who have any difficulty?